So today's question is, what does it mean to trust in God's timing? Genesis 30 is a full-blown family soap opera. We got jealousy, competition, baby wars, shady deals, you name it, it's here. But through it all, God's providence never misses a beat. In verses 1 through 8, you see Rachel's jealous rage. So Rachel sees Leah popping out sons like she's a baby factory, and she's getting jealous. She cries out to Jacob, "Give me children or I'll die." Jacob's like, "Am I God? He's the one that's kept you from having children." What Jacob's really saying is only God opens the womb, not man. So Rachel pulls a stunt. She gives her servant Bilhah to Jacob as a wife to bear children for her. And Bilhah has two sons, Dan, whose name means God has vindicated me, and Naphtali, whose name means I have struggled hard with my sister and I'm winning. You can just feel the competition brewing. In verses 9 through 13, Leah fires back. So Leah sees Rachel using her servant. So she says, "Oh yeah, well two can play that game." So she gives her servant Zilpah to Jacob. And Zilpah has two sons, Gad, whose name means how fortunate am I, and Asher, whose name means what joy is mine. These women are treating childbirth like a county fair contest. It's a mess, but God is still working through it. In verses 14 through 21, you've got some mandrakes and more babies. So one day, Leah's son Reuben finds some mandrakes, and it's a kind of root that people thought could help you get pregnant, and Rachel begs Leah for them. Leah, still sore about everything, basically says, "You already stole my husband, now you want my son's mandrakes too?" They strike up a deal. Leah gets more time with Jacob that night, and guess what? Bam! Leah gets pregnant again. She has Issachar, whose name is God has rewarded me, and Zebulun, whose name means God has given me a good reward. And then later, a daughter, Dinah. So God keeps blessing the unloved Leah. Ain't that just like God? In verses 22 and 24, you got Rachel finally blessed. So then, finally, after years of aching and praying, God remembered Rachel's plight and answered her prayers by enabling her to have children. So Rachel gives birth to a son, Joseph, whose name means, "May the Lord add yet another son to my family." Joseph's going to be a big deal later on. Just you wait. So in verses 25 through 43, you see Jacob's shady deal with Laban. So after Joseph's born, Jacob's ready to leave. He tells Laban, "Send me on my way so I can go home to my own country." But Laban don't want Jacob to leave. He knows that Jacob's good luck. He knows that he's making him rich. So he strike a deal. Jacob will take the speckled, spotted, and dark-colored animals as his wages. Jacob then uses some wild methods like peeling sticks, setting them by water troughs to breed the strongest animals for himself. Long story short, as a result, Jacob became very wealthy with large flocks of sheep and goats, male and female servants, and many camels and donkeys. God blesses Jacob even while Laban tries to cheat him over and over again. So what's Genesis 30 teaching us? First, human schemes and rivalries can't block God's blessing. And jealousy and compassion only bring heartache. And God remembers his people, even if it feels like it's been a long time. And prosperity comes not from trickery, but from God's hand. Listen, if you're trying to help God out with schemes and shortcuts, you're just making a mess. God's got a plan, and he don't need your tricks. He needs your trust. When it feels like everybody else is winning, don't get bitter. Stay faithful, stay patient, because God sees, God remembers, and God blesses in his perfect time. So keep reading your Bible and don't be dumb.